Hello everyone. I'm probably not, I suppose to link into now really on the mental health. I suppose you've been to Zest. To be honest, I've had a little bit of mental health and I think it's important it can happen at any time in your life. And I got divorced. I'll not ask everyone to put a hand up who's divorced, but it affects you and you probably don't realise while you're in the workplace. So I get the trial and I wish that had been there for me, I suppose, in my career at a certain point. So I'm here to talk about the Work and Health programme, and I think some of you have already probably seen some of this. So I'm probably not here to talk about necessarily the journey. It is about collaboration, and the reason I spoke to Stuart about it is this isn't about reading partnership, it's not about the Work and Health programme, it's not about referrals, it's about collaborative working, being embedded in the community and integration, if I'm honest, and for reading partnership. So I'll fly through this and then for me is pick up on the bits that I think is probably more relevant to yourselves. All right? Okay. So, quick overview of the contract. So, started on 15th of January, runs until 2022. So again, big commitment of DWP on this contract. We won the largest CPA, so it's the North East lot, it's classed as, so it's from Newcastle down to Nottinghamshire. So we'll support over 55,000 people on that contract, so significant amount of people. The good thing for me really, and why I suppose I do things like this is about South Yorkshire benefiting more from that, because that's not targeted by region, district, CPA or anything like that. JCP, site, nothing like that. It is about how many people can we support in Sheffield, for example, for here, how many in Barnsley, Doncaster. So if I can draw on all them funds for South Yorkshire, the better for me, and better because I live 10 minutes away. So for me, I'm quite passionate about the region, and this contract will support a lot of people in that region if we can. 15 months support really, and then 6 months in work support. So quick overview of the journey, but the mission for us is, I'll not read that, but it is about helping people with a disability to sustainable work. Okay, next one. So for reading partnership in the city region, it's all reading partnership, but we do have 11 supply chain within that, mainly around the North East and the coast, and then a little bit of Nottinghamshire. So we have 11 reading partnership officers and 11 partners to support that journey. Okay, next one. Oh, that's it's okay. I'll talk a bit about it because this is the important bit. The whole point of the contract really is about integration. So this is probably the bit I want to talk about. It's not about where we run a contract, reading partnership are over here, Work and Health programme, bit like work programme, bit like work choice a little bit, and it's all controlled through JCP. So JCP are our gatekeepers, but that's not our model at all. For us, it's about integrating with the local LIBs, with the local JCPs, with the communities, with the IEP, etc., because it is about helping the community, and it's very much about, if you like, using that DWP money to help the community and integrate our services and utilise working with the NHS, the councils, the colleges, etc. This is the best funded contract I've been in for a while. You know, I worked on the work choice contract for 6 years. And I always remember we had about £190 per candidate journey. And this is people with a disability for 6 months. So this is, 15 months. And to be honest, if we have to spend £1,000 on that journey, we will do. And it's all about, yes, that return on investment, but it's about using all the services that's around us as well, all right, whether it be free, paid, etc. So we've over 500 providers now on our tool, if you like, that supports that journey, ever increasing, but it's then fine-tuning which services work for us. Talks about consistent delivery, so every office is the same as the supply chain, and around that is we have a health and wellbeing advisor, around obviously all them elements. We have a self-employment specialist, all non-caseload bearing. We have a trainer, etc. So all consistent. And then high level of support, so which I've already talked about. All right. So there's 3 groups. People with disability health condition, so 80%, which is voluntary. 9% on average, early access, and then long-term unemployed, 11%. this briefly, I'm going to fly through these, but that's just the criteria, so we'll be able to show that, but it's all voluntary. The second group is the early access, so ex-carers, homeless, armed forces, people in gangs, domestic violence, etc. in the early access group, again, voluntary. And then long-term unemployed, so this is only 24 months, so from 3rd of April it was, if they've been unemployed at 2 years, then they can come onto the programme, and that is mandated. Okay? Quick overview, but I'm sure you've all seen these again, being within the industry, pre-programme engagement, pre-work support and in-work support, but I'll talk about some, that's all right, some bits around this. So the first part of us, we do, it is about that initial appointment, the welcome pack, explain the programme. It is a celebration, and that's the bit we're doing very well, I think, on this contract, because it's voluntary, is at the minute, the referral to start is always the challenge on voluntary, as I'm sure Niall knows, and we have a control group as well, so 20% of the referrals don't come through and go into the control group. So we're running at 81% in South Yorkshire from referral to start, and that is all about that engagement, working with the JCPs, but it doesn't stop. And if anything, from any contracts, that's the bit I've probably learned over these years, is if you keep that and maintain that, you always think, oh, going to the job centres, the last thing I need to do, I'll not do it today, then you're very much mistaken, you'll start to lose ground quite quickly. So the JCP bit, for me, is the biggest part of my task at the minute, and will be for probably 2 years. Their attrition, their understanding, their values, other contracts come in. So it becomes almost set in stone on that activity and the engagement. Okay. Second part really is we're quite heavy, so we have a 6-week journey that's quite rapid, from diagnostics, understanding their readiness to work assessment, understanding the readiness to change and their attitude, health, functional skills assessment, etc. So it's very quick, all that. So and the whole point of it is obviously understand the journey, understand then how you map that out over the next 6 months. So, and the action plan, and using the route planner tool, which all our providers are on, to understand what that journey looks like. So very quick, if I'm honest. 128 KPIs on this contract. Never had so many, if I'm honest. So, and it starts really as soon as they walk through the door. Frequency of support is weekly, fortnightly, monthly, but we do support quite a lot, obviously, with travel and childcare, etc. But again, it's more about removing them barriers and funding that from all the provision out there, is what we're finding. Okay. 5 elements really, from advisor support, mindset, health, skills, quals, and it's almost everything that you probably all deliver, and pulling all that together into that journey, but very much employer-led, if I'm honest, as well. All right. And then the in-work support, which is about 6 months in-work support. It is about sustainable. HMRC are doing this one. So we do get they call them pings. So, which is great, because again, we don't have to pester employers for evidence, no EVTs, none of that. We don't have to multiple emails or email confirmation. We just simply get a notification that they've earned over 3,200 to sustain work, and that is it. And it's, hey, don't get me wrong, we don't get as many pings as we should be, so that's a challenge. And we've got the evidence, and we know they've been working, and we've got the wage slips, but where's the ping? Where's the ping? But that's another meeting. Right. All right. So, in summary, really, intensive advisor support. So it's a low caseload, 40 to 50 maximum. Health specialists in the office, integration and route planner tool, focused on changing mindset and financial support. And then also with that self-employment journey as well. So again, specialists, ex-chamber are in there to develop that. Just supported one, I was doing a case study yesterday, but we just supported a chap cleaning houses, got a contract with Lundells, so we bought him £1,500 worth of equipment to set up all the cleaning and the steamers, etc. So he has earned £24,000 in 3 months as a contract. And so the investment's there. We've got the money to fund all that, if you know it's going to materialise. And don't get me wrong, there's always a caveat to all that. But at the end of the day, the journey speaks for itself, and that's what I get excited about. But this event, for me, is about spreading the word of collaboration, which I'll talk about in a minute. So the journey so far, so just in 10 months, across the CPA, so this is the whole lot, but over 8,000 referrals, 7,000 are on programme, so starts. But just looking at Sheffield really, but we've got 419 in the Sheffield office alone. But around 4 barriers each we've identified quite quickly of all them participants. We became a disability confident leader last month. So again, we'll be rolling out a strategy to support the Sheffield region. Again, it's not about the contract, it's not about reading partnership, it's about supporting the community and helping employers become disability confident for us. Job entries so far, so we've moved 21% into work in Sheffield. Doncaster 31%, but we're to be honest, we're around 25% as an average across the city region. So good start. 84% of them have retained and sustained employment. So again, part of that is about creating them routeways with the employer engagement. Working with Clipper, I probably know everyone is, but creating that fresh start element, but rolling that out and that model again and again and again. Already we've moved 1,600 into work across the contract. So job entries, etc. But achieving sustainment now is start to tick up and move on. All right. The bit probably around I probably want to talk about as well is the way DWP are managing us and the other primes in this, and is about collaborative working. So I've never had it really, but I've got to go down to Shore Trust and we're going to show them our MI and they're going to show us theirs and the formulas and how they're tracking it, how they manage it. We are looking to all do a disability confident campaign nationally as prime. So rather than all doing different social media campaigns, digital, actually come together. So it's a big word at the minute, collaboration in DWP, on not just this contract, but across the piece, that you're wanting to evidence that and see all that. So things like this for me is important, that we again share that message really. So, and that is it for me. Any questions really? One or two?
Quick one or two.
I'm still divorced, if that's the... just saying. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. All right. Cheers.